Welcome and thank you for joining us on It Is Written Canada. One of the things that Renee and I love to do is to go running. And so today I'm so excited because we're with a professional runner, Phil Ellis, who is the general manager of Peninsula Runners here in Langley, British Columbia. So Phil, thank you for joining us on It Is Written Canada.
Well, thank you for coming to beautiful Langley, British Columbia.
And thank you for having us at one of your stores. You have 3 stores. Tell us about your work.
Yeah, so Peninsula Runners is a locally owned independent running store that was started a little over 20 years ago. We have 3 locations here in the Fraser Valley, and our goal is to get people with the right fit for their foot so they can go out and run and exercise and walk and stay healthy and fit.
That's great. So Phil, we can see that running is a very big part of your life. So can you take us back to those earlier years and how running became a big part of your life?
Yeah, we're going back a long way. But back when I was in school in grade 8 and grade 9, I was running, started running before gym class. You'd have to go out for a 1.5 mile run, and I realized fairly quickly that I was the fastest kid, and I would push myself hard, so I was always coming in first. And my gym teacher was like, you know what, you need to maybe train a little bit. You got some ability here. So I just ran a couple of the 10K races kind of to try to beat my friends' dads, which I was able to do. And I realized I was fairly good at it, and it becomes kind of something you want to keep doing when you're doing well. So I kept at it.
That's great. So if you could put it into words, what would you say running is to you now?
Today, It's a huge part of my life, right? It has been and will continue to be. I mean, to be in this business, I feel if I wasn't going out running, I always say running is part of my job. So I get the excuse to go running every morning, right? But so it's a huge part of my life, but it's also for my mental side of things, for my physical health, obviously, I think it's important, but probably more so for my mental, just to de-stress and enjoy nature and get out and on the trails here in the Fraser Valley.
Tell us about food, nutrition. Is that a part of your running?
Yeah, well, it most definitely is. I was raised, eating basically a plant-based diet, and I continue to. And I remember early on, though, my first coach saying, you know what, I think that's something you'll have to change. You probably need to maybe eat some meat at some point to have the endurance to do the long races. But that was actually probably my stronger thing, was that I was strong. I was never so. But yeah, I believe most definitely eating a healthy, balanced diet and lots of water. I'm a big water drinker. You see people with this Gatorade stuff, and I mean, it's a sugar water. So,
So the James Cunningham Seawall race. Tell us about your involvement in that.
Yeah, so that's one of the longest running races here in BC. Started in 1971 when they to commemorate the finishing of the seawall, which goes around Stanley Park. So they had developed a race to go around there. I ran it for the first time when I was a kid in 1983, and I think actually I won for being a kid under 19. And then I went back done that many years. It's kind of in the end of October, it's a good season-ending kind of race. And I was able to win it in 1988 and then went on to win it another 6 times.
6 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Phil, can you take us back to when you won the Vancouver Sun Run?
Yeah, that was 1991. It was, I'd come third 2 years earlier. And then, so I knew I was capable of doing well in this race.
Yeah.
But there was a very good field that year. There was 5 or 6 guys that either went to the 1988 Olympics or to the 1992 Olympics. And so I wasn't the favorite by any stretch, but you got to have confidence and determination, and that I had. And then I think we have
some footage.
Yeah.
So let's take a look at that. and you can kind of walk us through it and talk us through it and see what's happening there.
Now look what's happening. Paul Williams coming back, the 34-year-old.
Here I am, the guy in the
Vancouver
white
is
shirt.
back in front.
Paul has just passed me, and I think he thought he had the race won. That I tired myself out, but I still had an extra gear left, and so here I pull up beside him. We've got about 450 meters to go. I'm just trying to figure out when to go. I look back to make sure none of the other runners are going to get back in it, and then look at my watch. It's go time. Let's go. So at this point, I put a surge in, my last surge of the race, and I pull away from Paul fairly easily, and I was quite surprised that...
and there's 3 guys behind?
There's 3 guys behind me. They're all very qualified guys. I went to the 1992 Olympics.
So let's listen in.
Looking behind them as they approach that finish line tape. Phil Ellis once again looks to his right. He knows he's got the win today. Let's take a look at the clock. Look at him, raising his arms in victory. He's coming up to the tape. What a magnificent win for Phil Ellis. 29:03 is winning time. Just a couple of seconds ahead of...
Wow.
So how did you feel after that?
Oh, pretty excited. I mean, I was pretty young at the time. I'd never beaten those 3 guys there. That's Paul and Graham and Art. They're all Olympic runners that are all like 10 years older than me, and so it was quite a honor to beat him in that situation.
When you're going over the finish line there, you were looking up, and what were you thinking?
I was happy to win, and you know what? Back then there was there was people above. There's a overpass going across the top. So I don't know. I think I might have been looking, but maybe thanking God too. I don't know. It was a big win for me. It had been something I've been dreaming about, or thinking about for quite a long time heading into that race. So to pull it off, to execute a strategy is always good, right?
Quite an
That's
achievement.
great.
Yeah.
So you were in very good shape at this time. So what was your average mile that you were running at this time?
In that race, it was 4:39 a mile, which per kilometer, that's 2 minutes and 54 seconds.
Wow, that's fast.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So with times like that, it sounds like you were in line to be in the Olympics or to be an Olympic athlete.
Yeah, that was the goal. I wanted to try to make the 1992 Olympic Games for the 10,000 meters. And
How did that go?
you know what? I got second in the Olympic trials. That year, you had to win the Olympic trials because nobody had the A standard. So I lost by a second in the sprint, and so. But I was young, and I always positive attitude, and I was.
Yeah. How did you handle the discouragement?
Well,
that was your goal, right?
Yeah, that was a big goal. You know what? You just look forward to other things, and you try to put it in perspective that this is not the end of the world, and you continue to have goals, and obviously as a Christian too, you try to focus on there's bigger things than running, right? So.
Mm-hmm.
So you were pretty young, and a few years later, you were struggling with an injury. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so in 1995, we were getting ready for the National 10K Road Championships, and I was out for a run, just a nice run around Burnaby Lake, and I hit a stone and I sprained my ankle quite badly. I still wanted to run the race, which I did. I think I came second in the race, so I did well. But there was something not right after that. I kept struggling with this lack of feeling of stability in my ankle. So you try to keep training for it, looking forward to then trying to qualify for the 1996 Olympics. But it was something I kept struggling with over the next 2 years, and it actually prevented me from kind of being able to train at the level I needed it to in order to qualify for the 96 games. So I missed out on that opportunity as well, right?
Okay, so you had this injury. You turned your ankle. What happened from that? I know it was disappointing not getting into the Olympics. What was the greatest disappointment then?
Well, the greatest disappointment was by the end of the 1997 season, it was getting worse and worse. And racing was actually the only good thing for it. And eventually there was no more races to run. So I got to the point where within a week of my last race, which was in Japan, I came home and I wasn't able to run at all anymore. Couldn't even run across the street to catch a bus, so to speak. So, and so I'd been dealing with, one of the best renowned sports doctors in BC over the last 2 years, and we hadn't been able to figure it out. But at that point, I remember him sitting me down and saying, you know, I don't think you'll ever run again. And so that was a real hard thing to hear when that's what you love to do, and it's such a big part of your life, right? So
that would be very, very disappointing. So you had this injury. Did it prevent you from walking?
No, thankfully not, although that is something that doctors asked me numerous times about. But what it did do, it's a sports-specific focal dystonia, which basically when I run, there's a nerve reaction designed to protect me from spraining my ankle, but I would pull my ankle in and twist it, and it was actually hurting me, preventing me from being able to
Go further.
Go further.
Yeah, go forward.
Be able to even put your foot down. And it feels very awkward and painful at the same time.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, Phil, how did this injury affect your faith in God? Did you have some discussions with him about why this was happening to you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you kind of say, hey, God, you gave me this talent. Why can't I use it? And it's tough for a while. I never doubted, I never blamed God, but I'm like, why don't you help me get over this? Because I was trying so many things, right?
Yeah.
So hard.
And this was such a big part of your life. Like you were a professional runner. You can see other people running and it's not so big of a deal to them. But to you, it's a major thing.
Yeah, it was taking away obviously what I wanted to achieve, but also long term, I wanted to be able to run again. Because at this point, I'd done so much of it. I want to keep doing this for my health, for my sanity, for, just for my life. So that was where I was like, God, why can't you let me run? I don't want to have to. I was riding my bike, but that doesn't do it if you're a runner. So.
No, if you're a runner. So when did you start running again? How could you get back into it again?
Oh, that was a very long, hard road. And basically the doctors said I never would, right? They didn't think there was a solution, but at the same time, they said, you know what, explore all the options or avenues that you can, at the same time keeping in mind that you know this injury better than anybody else, because this injury is not in a textbook. This injury is,
It's specific to you.
Specific to me, yeah. There's nobody else that's really had this injury, so this is very unique. So I did. I went to a lot of different people to try different things, and unfortunately it would always end in failure. So this is kind of part of this yo-yo thing, right? With your asking God, why, right?
Yeah.
But then finally I was seeing a guy for a pair of orthotics that they thought might help. And I saw on his wall this kind of brace that kind of wraps the foot for somebody when they have drop foot. And I said, I need that to run it.
What did that look like?
Well, I got my first one here, so let's just take a look at it. This is what he built for me.
That's well used.
Yeah, very well used. The difference is that he made it with a hinge in here, so I'd be able to run. Because the ones that I saw in his office, he said you'd actually just tear it apart if you tried to run in it. So, but as you can see, there's this one. I had another one built after this, but I put a lot of miles on this thing.
I'm sure you did.
Yeah. And the key here was, though, even when I first got it, I thought, now I'm going to be able to come back and be able to retrain this nerve, which is what we're really trying to do. But then I remember the first time I took it out for a run, I came back disappointed because it still did the reaction, right? So it hadn't cured it. Took a little bit more time off. So there was this back and forth, right? I had this determination. I never quit. I still wanted to run. So I kind of thought about it and I said, you know what? I've spent like $500 on this thing.
Yes.
Let's try to use this to get me back to running, because at that point everything else was out. So what I did was I just very slowly went to a walk jog basically, and I'd jog with this on. Slowly as I would come back. It was a slow process, but I was very determined, right? I just didn't want to quit, and so I kept at it to the point where I was able to, feel more like I was running, but I was still with this, so I still needed this. And then, about a little bit later on, I wanted to try to wean myself off of this, and then so I would run with this sometimes a little short, not with it, and
So you were told there's no way you're going to run again, and you were determined, no, I'm going to run again, and you just kept at it.
Yes.
You never gave up.
I never gave up. I mean, I could have just said, hey, it was nice running and just gone on to keep cycling or something. You've done something else, but that's kind of that's what makes me feel good, right? So
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So how often do you run now each week?
I try to get out 6 days a week for sure. Usually I run in the morning before I come to work.
Where do you love to run the most?
Oh, I love the parks here in the Fraser Valley, Campbell Valley, Older Grove Lake, Fort to Fort Trail. But often, because you know what, running is a convenient thing. It's easy to do. I often will just even do it from my home or from the store here. Maybe I come early and I head out for a run. So
Phil, you're the general manager of Peninsula Runners. What's the favorite thing about your job?
you know what, is trying to motivate people into a healthy, active lifestyle, right? So I'm not here to sell shoes. I mean, that doesn't really interest me. Some of the reps that I deal with, they're shoe guys. They like the shoes. And then, I mean, I value a good shoe, but the shoe is the tool that allows me to do what I want to do. And that's what I want the customers. I don't want them to see the shoe is what they need as it is the running or the living healthy, right? So I want to sell people on running, sell people on being active and healthy, sell them on that, make them want to do that, and create it as a healthy lifestyle, right?
Healthy lifestyle, very important. And one of the things that we like to do is give people opportunities to learn when it comes to a healthy lifestyle. So we're going to just take a little bit of a break and look at a recipe in the kitchen. So we're going to look at experiencing life in the kitchen right now. And they are going to give us a recipe on one of the most important meals of the day, and that's breakfast. So let's cut to that right now, and then we'll come right back.
Sounds good.
Hi, my name's Sari, and this is my friend Becky.
And we are passionate about health and showing people how we can help you make food taste great.
Absolutely. We're here experiencing life in the kitchen, and we're gonna show you how to make something called overnight oats. It's our favorite go-to breakfast on the road.
It's so fast, it's quick, it's easy, I love it. And you can just make it right the night before and have it ready to go when you need it.
Yeah, so all you need is 3 simple ingredients, or 4. Oats, milk, seeds, fruit. You can make it as simple or as complicated as you want.
Exactly.
So let's dive in. The base of this recipe is oats. Becky, do you mind telling me what's so amazing? I know there's fiber in here.
Yeah, so there's 2 types of fiber actually. So there's soluble fiber, which helps to lower your cholesterol levels and stabilize your blood sugar. And then the insoluble actually helps keep you regular. So that's what's really
so
awesome
cool
about that.
Awesome. So we just do 1 cup of oats in our mason jar normally,
Yep.
right? And then we do 1 cup of a liquid or mixture of milk and
Plant
yogurt,
milk.
right? So this is oat milk. It's my new favorite milk. It's amazing. I know a lot of people use soy milk and almond milk.
I love almond and soy
Yeah.
personally, but any plant milk you have works.
Yeah, so even sesame milk is
Oh,
pretty
that
cool.
would be really good.
So you just put that in. This is 3/4 cups of milk. And then we're gonna also add some yogurt. Yogurt makes it
So good.
so rich.
And has so many great nutrients too.
Yeah.
So we have all our probiotics in here. And actually the oats serve as a prebiotic, which actually feeds your natural gut probiotics. So it's
So
a double whammy here.
So I just put in about a 1/4 cup or just a big dollop scoop. Yep, throw that in. Mix it in
Or
with my oats.
you
Or
can make
what?
it even faster. You can put on
Yeah.
the lid and just give it a quick shake. That's what I like to do if I just don't feel like using a spoon. I mean, it all works.
She's smart.
but Yeah.
All
just
right,
another way.
I guess before I finish stirring, I need
Should
to
add
add
some other
my nuts and my seeds. We're actually gonna use hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are amazing protein.
so much. They're actually a complete protein.
Yeah.
So they have all 9 essential amino acids. So they are just a powerhouse in nutrition.
That's-
And they also have our omega-3s and omega-6s. So
So great. And then chia seeds. So about a tablespoon of each. One of each.
Yeah.
And again,
and we have our calcium, we have our antioxidants. You also have protein in the chia seeds as well. So we have all sorts.
so good.
And if you don't have those at home, but you have pumpkin seeds or flax seeds, you can put any other seeds in. We just really love these 2, and the chia seeds actually help to give it some bulk and kind of help thicken it up too with the oats.
Yep, for sure. For sure. And if you like yours sweet, you can add just a little, about a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of maple syrup in there. And
My husband likes his with it.
yeah, I'm sure. Most people do.
Yeah,
We
it's
add
really
fruit.
good.
So today we're gonna add some blueberries and raspberries. You can add cherries, whatever you have around.
Frozen, fresh,
Yep.
doesn't matter. Whatever
It
you
all
have.
works.
Yep.
So after you're done mixing or shaking it, you just put it on top.
And you can even make a fruit sauce too. So sometimes I'll have made a fruit sauce already and I'm like, oh, I don't have any fresh fruit or frozen, but I already made some and it's been in the fridge for a few days. That's fine. Put that on top.
So smart.
Perfect too.
That's so smart. So then all you do is pop a lid on. And then what I do, which is I think is really nice, is I grab a string, a spoon, and a napkin so that if I'm giving this to one of my friends as they're leaving early in the morning from my place or just myself, if I do it like this, tie it all together, then I know when I grab it out of the fridge in the morning, it's all together. I don't have to
ready to
pack
go.
this little bag. I just have it all here. It's a no-brainer. You just grab it and go.
Yeah,
It's so easy
perfect.
and it fits in your cup holder.
It does.
It's great. I love texture in my food. It's really
Yes.
important. So I love fresh granola. So I eat it down a little ways and then I
you
put
can
out a little Ziploc bag with granola and pour that in as I'm eating it.
Totally.
And so this is a granola that I love to use. It's from 1 Degree. You use 1 Degree products, I
love
know.
their stuff. You know exactly what
Yeah.
you're getting. It's non-GMO and it's totally family friendly.
Yeah, so when I eat this for breakfast, I feel good. I'm ready to go. The other thing I do is I spend some time in the Word of God because I want to know who my Creator is and who He's created me to be. So doing that and then grabbing my breakfast, I'm fueled for my day. I'm ready to go. I can work hard for a long time. And yeah, that's my morning routine.
awesome.
So I just hope for you guys that you'll hopefully learn something today and
Try it out at home yourself.
yeah, you're gonna love it.
Wow, that's a great recipe, especially for a runner or somebody who's really busy, you know, don't have a lot of time and need to get a good, nutritious breakfast. That's the most important meal of the day for everybody, especially for athletes. And I mean, it's packed with carbohydrates and energy for life for you. So
Grab it and go.
grab it and go. Yeah.
So here you are in a store where you're not just selling shoes, you're selling health. So do you ever share your faith with customers?
Yeah, you know, I do get an opportunity once in a while. I try to keep, though, politics and religion somewhat separate, right? So I don't want to come over bringing it up myself, but I do get customers that will instigate with me, and maybe some of them, I know that, you know, and I have a lot of running groups here too, and people know that I'm a Christian, and then through the latest pandemic, I've had an opportunity to, I always email the group, but I've been emailing them twice a week, giving them positive messages, never mentioning anything negative. Wasn't anything ever negative in those emails, and just trying to motivate people to get outside, to stay healthy, to keep their immune system, keep them going. And I've had, and lots of them actually have commented to me, you know, thanking me, hey, thanks for your emails. That was the thing that was helping me get through those really glum days where everybody was telling you to stay home and not do anything, right? But
So before we end, do you have any Bible verses or any Bible promises that you would like to share with us that just encouraged you?
yeah, well, you know, during the injury and the fight back, certainly it was Philippians 4:13, right?
I can do all things
Through Christ who strengthens me. So that was most definitely crucial to me, and kind of going, even though the medical professionals are telling me I was told I would never run again. Well, no, God says I can. So, and I was able to find that pathway. So to me, it was, you know, never give up, never quit. And then certainly I've always, as an athlete, I've always liked, you know, 1 Corinthians where Apostle Paul talks about the race of life. And
1 Corinthians 9.
yeah. And I've always enjoyed that, and I can relate to that, and how you have to train and you have to have discipline. And so running has taught me a lot of those things, and certainly never giving up. So the race of life, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's where Apostle Paul was going. You know, there's this race, and these guys prepare, but we in our the race of life, and
This is long term.
this is long term,
This is
right?
eternal life.
Yeah.
That we're aiming for.
Yeah.
So you're running in that race. You know what it means to run in a race. You know what it means to train. So as Christians, we're training and we're trusting God, and He's giving us the strength to do that.
Yeah, and you know what? We have to have faith, right? So
Yeah.
And we don't always get that answer, right? I didn't get that answer often. I didn't know whether I'd ever be able to run again, but I always had faith that I could get beyond it. And the same thing, we as Christians, maybe sometimes there's challenges that come up, right? But we have to have faith we can get beyond whatever that challenge is. And I know in the last little while, me and my wife, we've been able to get through some of the challenges that the pandemic has faced, and we've chosen to go closer to God.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Phil, could we ask you to have the closing prayer for us, please?
For sure, yeah. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for bringing us all together here in Langley, British Columbia. We thank you for the guiding that you have done in my life, and I pray that there's somebody out there that will maybe be able to relate to some of the challenges that I faced and went through. Or maybe they're different challenges, but dear God, I pray that they will see that you are the answer and that you can help them, even though sometimes the answer we get is maybe not the answer we're thinking we want. But dear God, we've got to continue to have faith in you, knowing that the race of life is the most important race, to get to the finish line and to have that strong faith in you. So dear God, I pray that you're with this country, you're with the people of this country, that you'll encourage people to look for you, to look for answers in these confusing times, and to keep them healthy and strong. And if there's any way we can help, let us be that light in their community, that we can help them stay healthy and strong through running, through exercise, through for their mind, so that they can think clearly and think about you. So dear God, again, I thank you for everything you've done for me, and I pray that you're with the rest of the people in this great country of Canada. Thank you very much. In your name, amen.
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 Phil, thank you so much for sharing your story. Very inspirational.
Well, thank you for coming here and telling my story. I mean, to me, it's a bit of an old story, but I hope it's something that people can still gain value out of.
Always encouraging.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have you ever thought to yourself, I'd like to start running, or I just want to start living healthier? Well, our free offer for you today is living longer and feeling better.
And you will learn lifestyle habits that will help you to supercharge your health. And for you to receive this free offer, here is the information you need.
To request today's offer, you may call toll-free at 1-888-CALL-IIW. Call anytime. Lines are open 24 hours daily. That's 1-888-CALL-IIW.
Friends, we'd also like to invite you to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also listen to our podcasts. And if you go to our webpage, you can see our latest programs, including our exercise workouts and healthy eating videos called Experiencing Life.
Friends, we want you to experience the truth that is found in the words of Jesus when he said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God."